United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, before we really get into things, I just wanted to have a moment of silence for Don Flaherty. Don Flaherty passed away last week. I think everyone here knows him, but a lot of people who go to recreation events might not have known who he was, but just the man with the white hair and the mustache that was doing the jobs that no one else wanted to do and always had the friendly face. He was a building supervisor for the rec department. He did parking at all our special events. He was the adult softball monitor. Brendan and Kelly could ask him to do anything, and he never said no. Even to the point of during Celebrate Burlington, he would stay overnight on the common to make sure nothing got stolen. Just an amazing guy, and our condolences go out to his wife Sheila and his son Chris with Don's passing, and our hearts go out to them as well. So if we could just have a moment. Thank you. So why don't we get the meeting going? Brendan will not be here. He had a family emergency. So Kelly, you know most of what's going on in Bill. So if anything pops up, don't be bashful about stepping up and giving you 2 cents or 5 cents. So if we could start with the approval of the minutes of March 14th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Dave, second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So that's great, 400. You want to sign? Public participation, I don't see any, so we won't drag that out. Brendan sent an email with the Director of Parks and Recreation report, and there we go. We had the, just to remind everyone that on Wednesday night is the Ways and Means Committee meeting. If anyone can make it, usually it's just 1 or 2 of us, but whoever can make it lend some support.
Do you know what time it is?
7 p.m.
Do we know where we are on the agenda?
No. Hopefully not after the school department.
No. Because it won't get to Wednesday.
Yeah, but, we are looking for a new position. It's something Ways and Means doesn't get excited about, so if we can all, as many show up as possible to lend support in that, it would be great. The department needs it, and it's something we really could help pass. So we have that, and then the other is the capital budget is March 29th at 7 p.m. Again, if anyone can make it, that would be great. I'll definitely be there. Let's see, is there anything, everyone's probably seen Brendan's email and his report. Is there anything folks want to discuss?
I was fine with it. Nothing
Okay.
that jumped out at me.
No problem.
All right, and I know we're gonna, in this report, we'll do the revolving account report, and the acoustic block panels will get discussed later. Okay, on the park superintendent report, Bill Baker?
Okay.
And before you get going, did you email out your report?
I didn't, I
Okay.
just got it done today, actually.
Okay, can you work on that?
Sure.
Just, during COVID, we lost a lot of the routine, but if we, try to get back to the meeting schedules we've had and doing things the way we did them in the past, that'd be great.
Sure. Some of the things we worked on this past winter, we cleaned and repainted all the movable barrels for the parks and schools. We brought in, repaired, and repainted all the movable picnic tables for the parks and schools. We inspected all the playgrounds, generated a list of parts needed for some replacements. We serviced and repaired all of our smaller equipment as well as our large tractors. And some of the things we've been working on, we've had a crew out the last couple of weeks limbing trees in all of our areas. We're repairing the large Lely fertilizer spreader to try to get ready for the spring fertilizer application. We're actually waiting for a replacement for that, but we're trying to get this one up and running again. We picked up 9 pallets of spring seed and fertilizer, and they're being stored at the Overlook Garage. We've gone around to all the ball fields to determine which are in need of clay and what we need to do to start working on them. One of the soundproofing panels at the pickleball court started coming down from one of the windstorms, and that's been repaired. We've had our extra pool pump rebuilt as a backup for the wading pool. The protective pads have been put on the end zone poles, and the lacrosse goals have also been put in place at Varsity Field, as well as at Brush Field for the start of the season. The tennis nets have been put up at Rahanas Park. And we've been keeping up with the trash at all the parks, schools, and town common.
Excellent. Any questions for Bill? Okay. Just how are you set for is it April 1st that high school sports officially start?
Well, we really haven't started working on anything, but today's been the first nice day we've been able to get out there and get some nets up and really start looking at things, and we should be in good shape if the weather holds up.
Excellent. All right. Do we use grow blankets this year?
We're putting one on the infield at Francis Wyman for the next couple of weeks.
All right. Makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does. It helped last year.
Okay, great. Kelly, do you want to go over the programming report?
Sure.
And if there's anything else that Brendan wanted to talk about that we should have talked about?
Okay. So we began our spring program registration on Thursday, March 3rd. This season, we decided to do it a little differently. We started registration at 6 p.m. We got a lot of feedback from the community in the summer and fall registrations that they really would prefer an evening time. So parents who are working or just adults who are working could log on before dinner, after dinner, whatever. That was very well received by the community, so we look to come up with a plan to keep that in rotation somehow, some way. Obviously, summer registration starting at an evening hour might make a lot of sense for us, but we're talking about maybe alternating it because there were some of the older demographic who wanted it to be earlier still, so we're trying to find a balance, but we'll go from there. We were very fortunate that our office was staffed by all of our office staff, so we wanted to thank them. They were in the office from 6 to 8 p.m. On Thursday to answer questions. We had a few people come in. Evening hours are busy hours in our building. We have programs going on, so people were just popping in saying, hey, I don't usually get to pop in and see you guys, but I'd like to register for this, or I have a question about that. So it definitely gave us a different look at the population that we serve, and potentially looking at moving forward with a 6 p.m. registration date and time, especially for the summer. Our Therapeutic Recreation Division interviews have begun for a Therapeutic Recreation Intern for the summer. We have students from the University of New Hampshire, Southern Connecticut State University, and Regis College, all interested in interning in a community recreation center. We're excited for the opportunity to onboard 1 or potentially 2 for the summer months. We are looking at the possibility of onboarding 1 TR intern that would focus on inclusion-based programming and 1 that would focus on specialized programming. Obviously, they would have a little bit of crossover or whatever, but there definitely is a need to be able to differentiate between the programs and give them all individualized attention. So we are looking at that for the summer. We started interviewing last week and we have a few more this week. So hopefully that'll be wrapped up soon. The special event that I identified in the report, due to some scheduling conflicts, we're actually not going to have that pop up. We took that down this morning, so that's not something that we're going to offer. We were very excited about it. There was a ton of puns, but we'll hold off. We'll hold off. And then facilities, the last kind of category, Jesse Hampson, our assistant program coordinator, and our fitness administrator, Kristen Gonzalez, have been working with local areas such as Third Ave, the Burlington Mall, and the Pocket Park, I can never say that right, to provide programming this summer on their open green spaces. We are thrilled that Third Ave has a lot of time open for some fitness classes, maybe a bocce league. There's a few things that we would like to be able to put down on that small green space where, you know, it would limit the impact on our facilities, but, you know, it might be a little more appropriate to hold a bocce league there, and then people could go for appetizers afterwards, or have it be a little more laid back, more passive recreation opportunities. And utilizing the green spaces at all three of those locations is something that's been on our plan for a while now. So I'm excited that they are able to make that happen. The one thing that I will touch on that was in Brennan's report is in front of you. You have the year in review. We put that out last week. It's something that the department has been working on for a little while now. It shows where we rank nationally. It takes a look at our growth over the last year, and everything within that document has been done in 2021. So the plan is moving forward that we would kind of showcase and highlight the year and the work that we do as a Parks and Recreation Department moving forward, and hopefully give the community a better idea of what impact we really do have in the community.
Excellent. This is a great presentation. We
Yeah.
should bring it to Ways and Means with us on Wednesday night.
We can do that.
Yep.
We can do that. Emma does great work.
Oh, that's Emma?
That's Emma, yep.
All
She's our go-to graphics engineer, whatever we're gonna call it, but she does really great work on Canva, so.
All right.
Great.
Anyone have a question on the flyer?
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Did we see this 2 weeks ago?
You saw it 2 weeks ago.
I didn't
That's
see it.
why
Yes.
I'm so smart.
You saw it 2 weeks ago, but we didn't give it out to any, we wanted to take a look at that social media page at the end. We didn't really love the way that it looked. But the graphs and other items for us to be able to pull, those were the best we could come up with. It looks a little menacing to me. I'm like, but it shows our growth over the last year as far as our social media impact. So
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to be self-promoting. You need to.
every now and then.
Yes.
Jim, so going forward, are restrictions all lifted? Are we full
So-
board looking into the, I know it's early,
Yeah.
but summer programs and
So right
I
now,
know you're working on it now.
we've
so.
made the decision in-house that when spring programs start, it will be what the CDC guidance is, which is if you're not vaccinated, you're required to wear a mask. That being said, we are not allowed to ask if people are vaccinated. It's not in our purview because we don't ask for it anywhere else. So we're on the honor system. If people wear masks and they're not vaccinated, that's what they're supposed to do. So at this point, that's what the Commonwealth has for guidelines, and that's what we're following. As soon as they're lifted, we will follow suit and lift whatever guidance we can. But we follow the guidance from the state, obviously.
Okay.
Good
Thank
question.
you.
Yeah. Bill, anything?
No, said thank you.
John?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Chairman's report, nothing really. Any of the subcommittees? I know they did a great project with the sculpture park.
Yeah, sculpture park.
Helping the Ukrainian.
Yep, so they did a Ukrainian, well, one of the the sculptures is from Ukraine. So, and we're gonna, I think we're gonna be able to purchase it. So, and then they're doing fundraising for it, and we're pretty sure we're gonna be able to buy 2 of the sculptures, and we already get the funding for it. So, and then we already have one donated. So, and then they get a lot more fundraising involved. Barbara is on track. She's definitely on the ball with the sculpture park. She's all in. So they're doing a great job. I mean, you know, the biggest issue long term is that we're going to be able to stay there. So, but it's going good.
Excellent. Yeah, the was watching Facebook the artwork from the Ukrainian brothers, 2
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
They wanted to buy it, so those 2 gentlemen had to leave their workplace.
Well,
So
they
that
they
they
got
would
to.
have-
Well, I think they got to Poland.
Yeah, but they would have money to restart.
To restart, exactly. So,
which-
yeah, I mean, they left with nothing. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So,
Amazing. Okay, Tom, anything on schools?
No, we're kinda, it's pre-spring season and it's kinda budget time from the administration standpoint, so there's not much going on from the subcommittee standpoint this stage of the game. We reorganized our first meeting in April, which is April 9th, I believe, or 10th, somewhere around there. So at that point, they will appoint a new school committee rep,
mhm.
and that person will take over from there.
All right. Does that mean it's the last meeting? No, we might have something the 28th or that week.
Yeah, 29th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. New business. We have the revolving account report, and I know Brendan sent it out to everyone. So, Bill, have you ever seen one of these?
I have not, that's my
Okay,
first view
so
of that.
basically, mainly on the programming side, you know, they run classes, events, and so forth. Basically, money comes in to pay for things. It takes sometimes months before the expenditures happen. There are other expenditures in the revolving account that doesn't bring in any revenue, that surpluses that, you know, or profits or whatever you want to say, that were made from some activities pay for some of the events, activities that the program we want to do that they don't have a funding source from. So it looks like a high number at times, but most of it's already, what's the word we want to use, reserved. That the money's already been, this is gonna be saved for this expenditure and can't be spent on anything else. Our goal is to try to keep the number by the end of the year, that we only carry over 10,000 unreserved. So every 3 or 4 months, Brendan comes in with a report, says how's everything's going, and if there's expenditures they're looking for that to be used out of the revolving account, we vote on them that way.
Okay.
Kelly probably has a lot of input on it because it's mainly you. I said it in generalities, but do you want to get more specific?
No, I think you covered it, right? So, the program division brings in some money. We oftentimes have surpluses. And as Kevin said, it's used for, special events, maintenance projects, turf management, whatever it is that is necessary and the commission deems, necessary. They have the ability to, expend at their leisure.
Leisure, that's a good way to describe it.
We are a Parks and Rec department, Kevin.
So Brendan wanted to bring up for a vote the acoustic block fence panels So, as part of what we've been working with the neighbors on Church Lane was to try to quiet, some of the pickleball noise. And we have purchased some acoustic block, but not enough. And Brendan's reached out, and came up with, what the price would be to enclose the entire court. So there's no gap on the bottom, the sides of the courts are covered, and the front as much as possible. The price that he's asking for is $14,544.08, to be spent out of the revolving account to purchase it. Would someone like to make that motion and second it, and then we can discuss it?
Sure, I'll move that we approve an expenditure of $14,554.08 out of the revolving account to purchase acoustic fence panels. Acoustic lock.
And, okay, second by David?
Sure.
Okay, great. So, with it, we're gonna be talking about pickleball, in April, when we can get everyone, all the commissioners here, and, the residents, the abutters that wanna come up in front of the whole commission. The purchase, if we don't order it now, we're not gonna have it for the spring. And, if we change the location of the pickleball court, these panels would be brought to the new location. So they're not gonna go to waste.
On that, maybe Bill could help me on that. I remember with the ones that we had, they weren't long enough, so we had to modify them or supplement them, I guess. What if the panels that we wind up getting, we're gonna move them to Rahanis or wherever it might wind up going, in the fences of different measurements? How flexible are these to modify? If they're too long at the new place, can you take them off? If they're not long enough, can you add to them?
The ones that are hanging now are 8 feet.
Mm-hmm,
I think that would work pretty much anywhere.
okay.
Additional 2 feet, obviously, would be 10 feet down the bottom, and
Is that gonna be a separate piece
it's
that's
gonna
tied
be
in?
a separate piece down the bottom to
Okay,
cover
so
that gap.
That can be
2 foot.
removed if it goes to an 8-foot
Yeah.
fence, you can take that,
Yeah.
take that off?
Yeah.
How about the width? Are they,
They're 4 by 8, so
so
we could make them fit,
you can make,
yeah.
it's not like we're buying a 20-foot long thing and
No,
the fence is only 8 feet long?
they're all separate pieces.
Yeah,
4 by 8's heavy enough.
okay,
Yeah, they're heavy.
yeah. Okay, no, that's my only question. I'm glad there's some flexibility to it, because it sounds like it's still not set in stone as to where they're gonna wind up being, but as long as they get the flexibility, that's fine.
Perfect. Good question, though. On this end,
No questions.
Just, Bill, if you would, so like, if we totally enclosed where they are right now, what would you think? So if we, so they would go to the new spot if we had to move them to the new spot, but the new spot would be where the street hockey is now, right? Is that where we
Or to a
assuming?
different location entirely, potentially.
Well, it wouldn't be this year,
Yeah,
I don't think.
Right.
Probably not this year, right?
Um,
But I mean, they can't entirely enclose it, because the face that's heading up towards the park is not, there's no fence there.
Right, I know that, right,
So
right, I'm
it's
just
gotta
talking
be like
the back
3/4 of
end
it,
and the
yeah.
side. I mean, I was just wondering if we should wait to see if before we decide what we do. Well, I mean, I guess we're gonna have to purchase them anyway, no matter what.
Yeah,
So-
either way.
Brendan's view on it was that they're gonna get used no matter what. No matter where it gets placed, we're gonna use them. They're gonna
Okay.
go around the pickleball court to quell any noise that, buffer any noise that comes out.
How long do they take to come in, Bill, do you know?
I don't know what they told him, but they should have them readily available. If you look on the website, they have all different sizes.
I mean, it seems to me the meeting with the neighbors if we could have these things in place before that meeting, so that we have a sense as to whether or not this sufficiently addresses the problem, then it makes it easier to make a decision as whether we should move.
Yeah, that's how I sort of look at it too. I mean, it's hard for them to make the neighbors, right now, they don't like it, but I mean, if it works,
Mhm.
and it works or it don't work,
Mhm.
then they come in.
Right, at least
At
we
least
know.
that way we
you
know
what
what we're battling
If we
on.
go through the rigmarole of moving them, and then you find out that those things really worked, and they could have left them
Right.
where they are, would
Mhm.
save us a lot of
Right.
work.
Microphone's not on, I don't think. Is it?
I do that on purpose.
Okay. Can you repeat everything you've said in the last 45 minutes?
Starting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I mean,
Just like dog.
is that what we should do?
That's what
Is wait-
Brendan,
Is wait to have a meeting with the neighbors until these are installed, or we should still meet with them first, or?
Well, it seems to me if they're gonna take 3 months to get in, then we probably should order them, then we'll have to deal with it once they come in. But if they're only gonna take a week or two, maybe we can say to the neighbors, look, we got them coming in, hope to have them installed by the second week of April, let's have a meeting mid-April, or something like that, I think that all hinges on how long it's gonna take for them to come in.
okay, so Brendan's been in contact with the company, Acoustic. So he's the one recommending that we purchase them now.
Yeah, no, I would agree. If we're gonna use them, we might as well get them. I'm just thinking in terms of, we're gonna be scheduling, we're trying to coordinate a meeting where all 5 commission members can be there, plus the neighbors. If we know that these are gonna be in by such and such a date, maybe we have that meeting a week after that date, just so we can get them up and everybody has a chance to get a sense as to how effective they are. Otherwise, we're gonna have a meeting, but then we're gonna have to have a meeting again anyway, once we put those things up
Okay.
and to see what.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely for purchasing them. It's just a matter of having the meeting with the neighbors before we get them installed. Because
Okay.
we're gonna have to meet with them again anyway, meeting with them twice.
Right.
When-
So I think the idea is that they're installed as soon as possible, so, the warm weather's coming quickly. There were some people already up playing with their own nets, and, we want to be accommodating to the neighbors as much as possible right off the bat.
Sure.
On things, so purchasing it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
be a
makes
good thing
sense.
in
I
the
have no
long run.
problem with
Yeah.
that.
Okay, is there any other discussion? So if we could bring the motion to a vote, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain, so 4-0-0 on that. The other thing that was on new business, we're gonna postpone, was the Community Preservation Act Committee is gonna come and make a presentation to the commission. I'll send you a link with some of the information ahead of time. I am a member to disclose everyone, and they want to make a presentation of how it would help the community and especially recreation on the what they're doing is going to town meeting and getting a vote from town meetings to asking that they bring the Community Preservation Act to the town election in November. And basically, every dollar that the town puts in, the state matches. This year it's gonna be 40%. And it needs to be used for housing, recreation, historical, open space. So, it's a good thing, I don't need to explain the whole thing. They have a presentation they'd like to present to the committee, so I put it on, I was away last week. I put it on the agenda and realized that there was a conflict, so it was too late to take it off.
Yeah, they're coming to the school committee too, probably, they're going to
Yeah,
see you
come to
guys.
planning board,
Yeah, I think they're making the rounds, I think they hope to get positive recommendations from all the various boards
Right.
to bring to town meeting.
It would help recreation considerably.
Didn't we already approve, trying to, because it's good for us, I know that, if it works.
Yeah. So
forget.
they made a presentation 3 years ago,
Yeah,
2
it
years
was right
ago.
before COVID, I think. yeah.
And we're gonna bring it to the town right when COVID happened. It was supposed to go to Maytown meeting, and then COVID happened in March, and, you know, the stock market dropped, everything was chaos, so, they waited 2 years, and, I'm bringing it forward now. Okay, good, enough said. Any old business, that anyone has?
Not for me.
Okay, and, let's see, and there's no need for an executive session. The next meeting, we have to check with Steve to see what he has for schedule. And Mondays have traditionally been the day that we meet. If we try to get back to a routine, that would be good. But we'll check with Steve and see what works for him. Because,
Okay.
Bill, your meetings are
Thursdays.
Thursday, and Tom, yours?
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. So, we want to stay away from those days. Right, okay. Is there anything else, Kelly, Bill, that need to be addressed? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
So made.
Made, second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain.